Alrighty, we are here to showcase the first blog of 2021. And this blog is entitled There Are Lots of Trails in Wisconsin, Public Trails. It's a pretty big misconception um, that Wisconsin doesn't have any 4x4 trails. We don't have a 4x4 program, a public program, but there are definitely lots of off pavement opportunities for four-wheel drives, full-size four-wheel drives that are illegal. And I think there's a big disconnect with the 4x4 community in what those opportunities are. We have a lot of clubs that are, well, not a lot of clubs. I mean, we have a few clubs in Wisconsin, and they do have their own private riding facilities. We have very few public, clubs that are working on a public level to make this all happen. And that bewilders me as I came into this recreation to help find solutions for that problem. And educating a chapter or club for the 4x4 recreation is one of our key focus groups that we want to enhance continually as the seasons go by. Without the trail ambassadors, without the trail guides, without the chapters and clubs, they are the volunteer force that helps make this thing successful. And without the volunteers, without the user group reaching out to land managers and say, yes, we want to be part of the solution. We want, more slow speed trails. We want, trails that branch off the main roads and that kind of stuff. That doesn't happen without the user group getting involved. So we have to make that happen. And over the last year, we've trained almost 100 trail ambassadors for Division 2 for road legal four-wheel drive. It's part of the bigger system. We want to put a trail guide program together for volunteer and paid guide rides. We want to, map out all of the overlanding trails and as well as the slow speed trails that are public, because there are some in Wisconsin. In fact, there's many thousands of miles of off-pavement opportunities in Wisconsin that people just simply aren't aware of. And there's no good way to market it. There's no good way to put it into the, we could throw it on the tourism websites and that kind of stuff. But without a system for maintaining those trails and patrolling those trails as volunteers, we are very cautious to not do that very much. Because if there's not a user group willing to take command of a local area through a local chapter or, a bunch of buddies who are trail ambassadors or whatever, it takes some kind of management to help a land manager out or a municipality or a county. You have to be, as the user group, there and responsible and legit to make that happen. Now, the Snowmobile Clubs have been doing this for 50 years. The motorcycle clubs have been doing this for like 100 years. They figured this out. The 4x4 community has been doing it for roughly 50 years as well. The areas that have a good, strong club presence and a way to work with land managers and legislators and all of that stuff, when you have those systems in place, the 4x4 community, thrives in that area. When you have nobody in charge of anything and everybody just wants to come and ride and nobody wants to get involved, those trails typically falter or are not, you're just at gravel roads at that point a lot of times. And, it's a starting point. But we always say that, the gravel roads are a good base to, work off of. And while people say that's, Snoozeville, well, it's something, it's off pavement. And we start there in a lot of areas, especially where we have a lot of residential areas or, gravel roads that we could easily have high clearance roads attached to or slow speed trails attached to. So yeah, those are definitely things that we as Road Legal Full Drive have worked on. We have, gotten the first public 4x4 park in place. We help make that happen. We have multiple properties on the private side that we're always developing and doing rides, training, workshops at. And then we want to really go ahead and connect a lot of these fun overlanding tours and slow speed trail networks and those kind of things to make that happen. We have a lot of grumbling within the 4x4 community, and I tell people, the 4x4 community doesn't need any enemies. We're our own worst enemy. You get a large group of 4x4 people together, and because the vehicles, they're such a diverse vehicle. These machines are able to be, Fab 4 rock crawling, do anything, go anywhere, right on down to your basic, you bought the Bronco or the Gladiator or the Wrangler right off the showroom floor, and you want to take your family out riding and camping. There's such a huge spectrum of opportunity that whenever you get a user group together that's that diverse, the implosion scenario happens often because everybody's looking for a different niche within that spectrum. And some people just want to rock crawl. Some people just want to overland. Some people just want, they want to do the mud parks or that kind of thing. And there's just not a lot of, or rock crawling or hill climbing or that sort of thing. So, and it's really frustrating when, 10% or 1% of the community has like 90% of the complaints. And it's really unfortunate to see parks like Tigerton get bombarded by negative comments and reviews from some of the user group that can't go there because we just don't have a plan to put such large machines or such deep, water hazards or, such big rock things in there. So we got to start somewhere, and we're using Tigerton and Sinoa and the other properties as templates for what we want to see in the future, not only in Wisconsin, but in the upper Midwest. And creating these formulas for the universal trail rating system and listening to the needs of the 4x4 community and coming up with solutions for those needs is what we're doing. We've been listening, we've been adapting, we've been trying to come up with good mapping tools, good ways so that when you go in the directory, you can see, okay, I only want overlanding routes, or I only want slow speed trails. If I'm only into crawling, I don't want to have to weed through a bunch of gravel roads. I don't want to weed through gravel roads. Just give me an overlanding route. I will do the whole route. Just give me the map file and I'll follow the file. We're putting all that stuff in play. The tourism stuff like the map files and the overlanding, you got your videos and your pictures and your reviews to help make the right decision if you want to take your vehicle out there or not on that type of terrain. So doing a lot of the tourism work, doing a lot of the backside, finding out if it's legal, checking plat maps, checking with local government agencies, checking with local land managers. We want to make sure that we're posting things that are legal, that are responsible, that are ethical, that are sustainable. And Wisconsin has a lot of that. We have, like I said, there's probably, if I had to guess, 10,000 miles of 4x4 off-pavement opportunities that we just don't have mapped. And there's not a lot of clubs out there yet, and those are some of the things we're trying to fix. So when people say there's nowhere to ride in Wisconsin, I kind of chuckle at that in the back of my head because I've been on a lot of these trails that I won't put on the directory. It's until we have the chapters involved, until we have local trail ambassadors willing to go out and ride those trails that are in their area, because that's really the goal, right? To get as many trails as we can in the local area, so you don't have to travel 6 hours to go somewhere, but rather go out your back door and enjoy riding. Some places that's easier to do than others, but we do have some of the private facilities in southeast Wisconsin. We don't have a lot of public trail because we don't have a way to fund it. It's all private property. There's in the state parks and properties that we have, there's no funding mechanism or volunteer network to convince the officials in those government, public, lands that were were worth our salt, essentially. Anytime the public owns land and government is set inside to manage those lands, they have to listen to the user groups that, pay their fees. Basically, that's public land. So if the user group is well organized, if we can find a way to fund what we need done, and there's a responsible user group to help those agencies out, those land managers out, the chances of success are much higher. People that'll go to the meetings and be part of the voice to protect the land and to preserve the trails that we're trying to get, that's all part of it. So our website, our goals, everything that we're trying to do, it revolves around that, because in the 30 years I've been involved in this on a national scale and local scale, in other recreations, I can tell you that formula is the key to success. And you can check with Tread Lightly and Blue Ribbon Coalition and all of these national organizations and local clubs. Anybody who has relative success with this utilizes this strategy. So this is not rocket science. This is, you got to have a good network of support in place before you bring the masses to an area. And boy, the small businesses, the mom and pops, they really need it right now. There's a lot of small businesses that are struggling and closing all over Wisconsin and the upper Midwest, hundreds or even thousands by the week. And we can turn this thing around as a recreation. We can help be part of the solution by bringing people to these areas if we have the right management in place. So that's what we're trying to put up. As for funding, we have a couple different ways that we fund things. One is through the membership. We do our own private, the premium membership. It's $50 a year. You get your card, you get your shirt, you get stickers and all that stuff. And then you get access to some of our private facilities when trail ambassadors do rides out there. We have public ways to do it. You have federal, you have state, and you have local ways to fund those type of operations for public trails. And a local municipality or government agency won't be willing to do anything if there's not a user group that wants it. You have to request it. So getting involved with your local, town meetings and those types of things are required. I mean, the user group has to be involved, or nobody knows what you need or what you want. The state level, we're working on that right now through some potential legislative action. And I've been pretty quiet about this because, we don't want it to get screwed up. And the volatile times that we're experiencing in government right now, we have to be, we have to play these cards right. And the legislators are willing to help, and they want to be part of the solution. In most cases, from a tourism aspect, it makes sense. From a business aspect, it makes sense. And local constituents, that's us. We want places to ride. We want to recreate. We want to take our friends and families out and experience great outdoors in our 4x4s. Bring along our bicycles and fishing rods and kayaks. And we're a user group that is very versatile in the types of recreations that we do. And so we're different than a lot of other recreations whose primary goal is to ride or walk or hike, as a 4x4 recreation, because we are using our vehicles as transportation. We might crawl some trails with the Jeep and then, play with the kids in the campsite and then, go out on the local trout stream and throw a rod out there and, do some panning in the river or, kayaking on one of the numerous lakes that we have. These trails go by all of these things. And so we're able to bring all of that stuff because our vehicle is big enough to do that. So it's a very unique user group to appeal to. And I don't think anybody's appealing to us the way they should. We got millions of registered 4x4s in Wisconsin. We should have trails. We should have good, solid, slow speed trails, which I think is what most people say when they say we don't have trails. And they don't know that we have trails, but we do. We just don't have enough management, user group involvement to publicize that stuff. So the tourism department wants to do this. They want to work with us. State of Wisconsin, I think, wants to really make this happen. And we've done legislative rides. We're trying to work with DNR and Forest Service and state, federal, local officials, local clubs, regional clubs, whoever we can help facilitate the growth of the trail network in a sustainable way. That's what we're going to do. And we've made a lot of progress in the very short time that we've been involved. So we need to make this transition to keep this momentum going. And as most of you have seen, this is a full-time job, beyond a full-time job. And I'm trying to juggle my full-time job, my part-time job to help create funds for trail development and keep the for-profit, non-profit afloat. And these are the things that we're going to need industry support. We're going to need more member support. And we want to finalize some of these tools to keep this thing moving. There's definitely ways to fund our operations. We've been successful in some. We've only touched the surface on others. And I think we can be a valuable resource to the 4x4 community nationwide, statewide, regionally, and even internationally as we go forward. So putting together good teams, making sure that people understand what it is we're doing, and getting back to the topic at hand here in the blog post, Wisconsin has quite a bit of opportunity already that's public, and you could go ride those trails right now. You could go ride those forest roads and overlanding routes right now. We have some of those things already listed on the website, and we're going to continue to do that as long as we have your support and the support of the industry. So if you want to get involved in this topic, jump into the blog post, and underneath the blog there's a comment section. Make your free or paid premium membership profile on rl4wd.com and put your thoughts down. We want to talk about this as a user group. Together we're doing this as a user group, and our website is very conducive to discussion on all of our pages, as well as our forums and our community, our social media style main page on RL4WD. So we got all the tools we need. We just got to utilize them. So hope this makes sense. We'll see you in 2021. It's going to be a good year for Road Legal 4-Wheel Drive. It's going to be a good year for the 4x4 recreation in Wisconsin and the upper Midwest. And we hope to keep growing this thing. So let us know if we can help bring 4x4 opportunities to your local area. I'm Ryan with Road Legal 4-Wheel Drive. We'll see you on the trails.